Well, hold on, my daughter's trying to come out of the house. Get back in. Go, 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 go. Well, I got the lower A-arms back from the shop. It only cost me 20 bucks to put them in. It hasn't rained today, which is nice. It's supposed to. So I still have the tarp set up. I may go ahead and take that down. But getting ready to put them all back in. Here's my daughter cheering me on.
She was.
Yeah. Love you. Okay, well here we go. We're going to start hand the camera off to Michael. We're going to put this back together. And Bill, it did seem pretty easy to take them apart. Hope it goes back together easy too. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing back together. First, I'm going to basically put the torsion bar back in. Let's see if I can do that. Well, that was extremely easy.
Not all the way in though.
Yeah, I'll get the rest of it in later. Okay. You know what I need now?
Bolts.
I need my bolts, so I put them inside the car last night.
Okay.
So, kill it. Okay, well, I'm going to have to do a little bit of some pounding here. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and put these nuts in, or these bolts in. There's two bolts. Bigger one goes in the back, smaller one goes in the front. When I get them in, I'll bring you back. Okay, had to do a little bit of physical persuasion to get the bolts to line up. A recommendation, I got two recommendations. One, don't tighten the nuts and bolts up until you have the lower A-arm on. And before you get that lower A-arm even in position, put this rubber boot on in place. Much easier to do it while it's outside or off the car than trying to put it on from underneath. So what I've done now, I've got both the bolts tightened up or snugged. I had to undo this bolt here, or this nut here, and line them both up, and now I'm just tightening up the upper, or the nuts in the ball joint. One of the things that may happen is that, well, it's not happening now, but since this is a spindle, it can just spin in there. And you know, it's going to be hard for you to know unless you can see it tightening up, which I kind of can see it tightening up. Yeah, and I can feel it tightening up there too. So, and there it got snug. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and lower the jack down and line this this stud on, and then put the nut on that one. So when I get that done, I'll bring it back. Okay, so far I've got the shock mount on. I'm putting the CV joint in right now. And sometimes this can be a little stubborn. There we go. So, CV joint is in place. Got this big washer. Yeah, let's see. Big washer, big nut. Got it in place, and there's 6 bolts holding the CV joint to the transfer case. And here I'll get underneath and put them on. Let's see. The way I tighten them up and loosen them up, I just put a kind of block the hole there. And get a close up of my face there, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
That way it doesn't turn. And I'll do the same thing with when I put the bolts on in the back there. Right now I'm just pretty much getting everything just snug. Not tightening anything up yet. I guess before I go under there, I'll go and do this one. Tie rod. Most of my tools are standard. I've had to buy a couple of tools over the days, but all the cars I used to work on, or I still have, like my 70 Pontiac Tempest, are all standard sizes. So I've been slowly over the years getting metric. I bet you this thing's spinning on me. Yeah, it feels like it's spinning. Yep, it's spinning. So I'll have to put some more force on there, see if I can clamp it up to be able to tighten that up. Alright, well, I'm going to get underneath the car now and attach the CV joint, bolt it on. And while I'm underneath it, I'll probably go ahead and snug those up and snug up the, or tighten up the, those and the inner arm bolts and nuts. When I get that done, I'll be back with you.
Go.
Just want to make a note that I'm not using any power tools. I do have ratchets, but my 15 millimeter socket is cracked, so I'm using ratchets here. You got that thing locked up, right?
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are like me, don't have power tools, this is all being done without power tools. So, it has started to rain again, so hopefully we get the side done real quick. And get underneath the tarp on the other side, so we don't get so wet. Now, getting close to being done with this side. I'm just starting to tighten everything up. And we'll bring it back here in a little bit. Okay, I've got, it's kind of more of a record for myself too. I got both those tightened up, I've got this tightened up, I've got the 2 ball joints, upper and lower, tightened up, castle nuts with the cotter key in it. I got this one tightened up. I have not tightened this one up all the way. Yes, or have I? Let me take this off. Verify that I tightened that up all the way. I know I've got the ones in the back of the CV joint tightened up. My little breaker. So the next thing I'm going to do is put on the rotor, put on the drum or the brake. And some of you may remember I just replaced this not too long ago. I have a new dripping wet here because it is literally raining out here. Link for the sway bar, and I'll be putting those on here a little bit. Everything I'm using is Moog, brand name Moog. I've been using them for years and I've never had any problems. So I stick with what I know that works. So other than The sway bar, the torsion bar mount, crossbar bracket, whatever you want to call. This side is getting close to being done. When I get the when I get ready to put on the sway linkage sway bar linkage thing, I'll bring you back. So I'm gonna go and tighten this up and put the rotor on, drum on, and get all that done. Bring it back when I'm done. When I'm done with that. All right, getting ready to put my sway bar link in place. This is how it's going to look when you put it together. It's going to go in right over here, and so I'll have the top of the sway bar. If you see from over there, the top of the sway bar. So most of it, I mean, I'll have to feed most of it through there. Let's see, start, hopefully I can get this in. Okay, now, oops, backwards. Okay, now we have the spacer, we have another washer, another little boot thing. Okay, great. Okay, well, we're gonna have to do some moving around here because the A-arm's in the way. So, we'll be back. Okay, well, this side's basically done. I still have those 3 bolts back there to put on for the torsion bar crossover, but I got the new center of, what are those stupid things? Oh, the sway bar link bolts, bushings and everything in there. Everything's tightened up. We're going to go ahead and probably put the tire back on this side, just that way it'd be a little safer if anything fell. I mean, I'm not too concerned. I've got a jack and 2 jack stands, but everything should be good. But we're going to go ahead and put the tire on here and probably go in and dry off for a little bit. Now after this I will do the same thing to the other side. It'll just be a repeat of this here, so I'm not going to record it. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this helps somebody out there in the world. Thank you. All right, so it's done. It's raining. It's wet. So much for yesterday was the first day of spring. I guess spring's coming in with a lot of rain. So I've rained the whole week. Yep, thanks for watching. Alright, well, you may be saying, what the heck? Well, what happened was I got it all together, complete together, and I realized I forgot to put the grease zert in. When I went to go put the grease zert in, the grease zert was right here, and the CV joint is right here, and so there's no way for me to get the grease zert in, and there's also no way, even if I could get it in, that the grease zert would have been able to be accessed with the grease gun so I could grease my ball joint. So I'm taking it, I had to take it all back apart, and I'm taking it back to the shop today and have them take the ball joint out, re-put it into a different position so I can at least grease my ball joint. Lesson learned. Alright, we are just about done, and I feel that there's some need to explain some of the errors that I had, and hopefully somebody else doesn't have those same errors. The mounts in the back, it's about ready to start pouring here. It's supposed to like have thunderstorms today, major thunderstorms. So this morning it was nice and sunny, but now it's getting close to, it's already started sprinkling a little bit. Now the torsion bar mount in the back, I recommend reattaching that thing after you get the A-arm in before you get it mounted to the, so put the bolts in, get that mount locked in place. That was a bitch because I didn't want to take it all back apart. It was too much torsion in there to get it right in place. The other thing is, I have noticed the sway arm bushing link needed to be, the A-arm needs to be out of the way to get that in both sides. It's kind of a really, that was a thorn in my side there. So those two things are, it took a long time to get those. So for somebody who's going to do this, make sure that you get those things. I stress that. I stress that. Get those 3 bolts back there in place and lined up, everything lined up before you put anything on that lower A-arm other than the 2 bolts to hold it to the frame. Okay, that's a if you do anything, listen to that, or don't do anything. You need to listen to that for sure. The sway arm bolt, basically I had to line that up at the same time I was lining the upper ball joint into the spindle. Get them both lined up because there's really no way to get them in. And you need to have your CV joint in before you put the sway bar link bushings in, because you won't get the CV link in, or the CV joint in, because the link's in the way of the CV joint. So those are just those 3 things. Other than that, it really is not that hard. I mean, I think probably the thing that took the longest, there's just a few things that took the longest, and if I'd done it properly, that back there wouldn't have taken very long. But lining up the A-arm to the frame, getting those bolt holes lined up, and the sway bar link were probably the 2 hardest things. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Everything else is actually pretty easy. So, hopefully, like I said before, hopefully this will help somebody in the future who's trying to do the same thing to their vehicle. And I'm sure this is going to be the same for a Tahoe or
Sierra.
Yeah, the Sierra trucks, or the, what's smaller than a Tahoe?
Yukon.
Yukon.
No.
Blazer.
Blazer.
What's the Blazer called? For the GM.
Jimmy.
The Jimmy. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, now I'm gonna drop this thing down, torque these things down, and go inside and clean up and have breakfast and lunch because I'm hungry. Thanks for watching.